All right, so you gotta have your helmet. You gotta have your water bottle.
Yes.
You gotta tune up your bike.
Whoa.
How many times have you been like, I'm gonna go for a bike ride, and then you go out and it's just not ready?
And your bike is going to cause you trouble on the road.
And a lot of people who are gonna ride in the Tour de Cure this Saturday want to make sure everything's all good before they set out on their journey. Of course, there will be folks out there to help just in case, but why don't you just avoid the just in case and have Hannah Welker tune up your bike or her friends at Full Moon Vista.
Yeah, these are my friends. They're way more handy than I am. Brian's been telling us all morning how important it is to have safe tires, inflated tires. But, Brian, we're actually going to show what happens if your tire goes flat and you need to replace it.
Yeah. So
you're going to pop it off. How did you do that?
with the
Explain.
quick release lever, basically.
Quick release. All you do is pull it.
Open it up, and then the wheel can drop out. It is a bit more involved when you do have the gears on the back. I just know we're a bit short on time, so.
We are, yeah.
But, and then once you have the tire off, or once you have the wheel off, you then use a tire lever, and by pulling back the side of the tire, you can get this lever underneath what's called the bead of the tire.
Okay.
And then you can pull that back, and then slide it around.
And it's, you know, don't be afraid to, I guess, damage it because you've already got a flat tire, right?
Yeah, that won't damage the tire, and if it does damage the tube, not much of a problem. So.
Okay. So what is this? Because I've never replaced a tire. What do you call this?
So this is the tire.
Okay.
This right here is the tire.
This is the actual tire.
And then this is the inner
tube
tube
inside.
that holds the air.
Okay.
So when something goes through the tire, it punctures a hole into the inner tube, and that's the part that you're going to replace. So before you put a new inner tube in there, you want to check the tire, make sure there's no debris caught in there. So
can this ever get damaged?
Yes, it can. If you hit like a piece of glass or a rock large enough that will put a really big cut in it, then you would have to replace the tire. But the majority of things that will cause your flats will be very small items, and they'll only make really tiny holes in the tire like these you see here.
So that's okay, though. This
yeah, don't be alarmed by that. That's just going to be mostly in the rubber on the outside, and it doesn't really get through the casing big enough to create a hole.
Okay.
So once you've checked the tire, you make sure there's no debris left in there.
Okay.
You can then grab your new inner tube.
Yep.
You put one pump stroke of air into it just to give it its shape.
This one?
Yes. Because if it's flat like this, then it's really hard to work with.
Okay. Got the pump. There we go.
Thank you.
Put it on there. You tell me.
And yeah, just give me one pump stroke there.
Okay.
That should be good.
That's it?
Yep. And now it has its shape at least, so now it's going to be a bit easier to work with.
Oh, so you just need to get shape in it. Okay.
And then when it's nice round shape like that, you can start with the valve. Always put it inside the tire first. And then you can kind of run all the way around.
And it fits right inside.
Yep.
Okay.
And then starting at the valve again, the valve where you put the air in, you then line that up with the valve hole in the rim. Slide that through. And then you bring one side of the tire on. That's usually the easiest part of it. And then starting back at the valve again, you get the other half of the tire on.
Okay.
And this is where it's going to start to get pretty tight. The inner tube might start to poke its way out a little bit, so then you just kind of go around with your hand again and
any tips on how to do this easily? I mean, do people have trouble with it the first time they do it?
The first time, yeah, it can be pretty difficult.
But again, there will be people there to help you.
Yeah.
So something like this
usually
happens.
at this point, when you have the tire on everywhere except for this last part, this is where it's going to get really tight. So sometimes you may just have to squeeze the tire onto the, like, kind of into the rim a little bit.
Okay.
And that's going to give you a bit more room up here to then pop that last
maneuver it
bit over.
There we go. Wow.
And then you just go back to inflating it to
the proper number.
Yep, the recommended inflation. So like the other bike that was in the stand earlier, this one goes up to the same, 90 to 125. And with hybrids, you know, around 60 to 80, mountain bikes, 35 to 50.
All right.
And there we go.
And we're pretty much done. Guys, check it out. It is our newly inflated tire, replaced tire. We could pop it right on. Did I do this wrong? Oh, yeah. And that's why I don't work at a tire shop, a bike shop. Thank you, Brian.
No worries.
That's how you do it. And there will be a lot of people to help you, so don't panic. But if you need to do it by yourself, that's how you do it.
Yeah, and you'll learn something, too. You'll pick up a lesson or two. That's the great thing about owning a bike is you'll always learn, if you're brave
A little
enough to
dust
do
cap
it
there
yourself.
just to keep it clean.
I remember I was riding a bike once with my best friend, and I had to change her tire, and she's like, "You know how to change a tire?" And I was like,
What, you don't know?
anywho, you want to meet some kids who know how to do some stuff?
They're
Stick
incredible.
around.